Watch it again. Every piece of dialogue is a plant for something. I wanted to make a movie you have to watch 2 times.
Well, Mr. Peel, you did the thing. I love Get Out. It was my second favorite movie of last year, and it would have been my favorite if it weren't for the love of my life, the Emoji Movie. Written and directed by Jordan Peele, Get Out is an engaging, thrilling, terrifying, insanely smart, and unpredictable film. But one of the most unique things about the movie is that it offers 2 completely different experiences. The first time you watch it, and the second time you watch it. The first time you watch it, you have no idea what's going on. We're 110% in the shoes of Chris, played brilliantly by Daniel Kaluuya. Like, seriously, one of the best performances of the year. But I digress. As Chris notices that things are off at the house, we notice it along with him. We don't have any knowledge that he doesn't have. When people act strangely, we have no idea why. Just like Chris, we can't even pinpoint how they're acting exactly. We're strapped in with Chris for the ride. And as the twists are revealed, and we discover that Rose was working against him the entire time, he was being auctioned off to the party guests, and that all the black people at the party were actually old white people in their bodies, we're just as shocked as Chris is. This is a very specific experience. We have no idea what's going to happen next, and aren't even really sure of what just happened. We second guess everything we see in a state of some kind of paranoia. We feel as if we are stuck with Chris at the house and that there's no way to escape. And when we get to the end of the film, we feel exhausted. We feel like we just fought our way through and out of the house and came out the other side knowing everything that went on. Just like Chris. And then we watch the movie for a second time. The experience could not be more different. Instead of watching the movie through Chris's eyes, we're forced to watch it through Rose's, because we know everything that's going to happen. We've been through this experience before, just like Rose, but we still have to stay with Chris the entire time, knowing the outcome, just like Rose. Also, because we know the explanations for everything, there are so many clues to pick up on. The clues form together to make us feel like we're in on the plan to abduct Chris somehow. There are almost too many clues to count, but I'm going to run down a list of some of the best just so you can get an idea of how masterfully written and directed this movie is. There are so many things Rose does that have a different meaning on a rewatch. Stopping Chris from showing the cop his license wasn't just her sticking up for him, but also preventing a trackable trail to her parents' home. She also calms him down and gets him to stay at the house multiple times when he wants to leave before the party/auction. When it comes to the twist about the transplant operation, there is a plethora of hints there as well. Once we know exactly why Georgina, Walter, and Andre are acting the way they do, it makes total sense. The first time watching, they just seem off, but watching a second time, it's easy to spot how they're actually elderly white people in their bodies. When giving Chris the tour of the house, Dean says that the basement is locked off because of black mold. They use the bodies of the black people as molds for their own brains. He says they keep a piece of Grandma in the kitchen, referring to Georgina, who's actually just Grandma. Walter sprints at night to try and beat Jesse Owens' time. All the people arrive at the auction in black cars, foreshadowing the black bodies they want to leave in. Walter hugs a guest coming to the auction. It would make sense for him to hug him because he's his old friend and it's his party. Speaking of the auction, everything all the people say to Chris makes sense, outside of just being casually racist. Which, I mean, it still is. Some obvious ones jump to mind, like guests asking how strong or how fast he is, but there's a few subtler ones, like Chris being asked if he thinks being an African American in the modern world is good or bad, or a lady asking Rose if it's really better. These are all questions they would want to know if themselves or loved ones would undergo the operation. These are only a handful of the clues and hints Peele drops. There's so many I didn't mention, and I promise that there's some I haven't even caught yet. But everything I mentioned was something that I picked up on the second viewing. Just as Jordan Peele stated, this movie requires a second viewing. That's a sign of a film with a truly fantastic twist. Or, in the case of Get Out, multiple fantastic twists. I can think of 2 other movies that gave me a similar reaction. The Sixth Sense and The Usual Suspects. The Sixth Sense and The Usual Suspects are known for having two of the most incredible and iconic plot twists of all time. The twist, of course, being that in The Sixth Sense, Bruce Willis's character Malcolm was a ghost all along. And the twist of The Usual Suspects is that Verbal, played by Kevin Spacey, I know, was Kaiser Soze the whole time. Just like Get Out, these films changed on a fundamental level watching them a second time. For The Sixth Sense, there are so many signs that Malcolm is a ghost. For example, he never talks to anyone besides Cole, who can talk to ghosts. Everyone ignores him the entire movie. Watching it a first time, this is kinda subliminal. We just assume he's kind of a lonely guy. But on the second viewing, we realized that everyone just couldn't see the guy, because he was a ghost. For The Usual Suspects, both Kaiser Soze and Verbal are seen with a gold watch and gold cigarette lighter. There are multiple inconsistencies in Verbal's story, which slip by you the first time watching. But on a second watch, you realize that those slip-ups occur because he was never actually where he said he was. Just like Get Out, the twists of these movies are set up with incredible subliminal hinting, which helps to make them truly great twists and films that require a second viewing. Now, let's take a look at a plot twist that doesn't do this setup and falls short because of it. Wonder Woman. To start off, I like Wonder Woman a lot, but it contains one of the most hollow, meaningless plot twists I've seen in a while. So, the whole movie, it's been heavily hinted that General Ludendorff is Hades, but then after Diana kills him, the war doesn't stop as she predicted it would. It seems that Hades wasn't involved, and the war was perpetuated by the innate nature of man. It's a pretty powerful message, but unfortunately one that lasts for only a minute. Because it's soon revealed that Hades actually was controlling the war, only he was actually Sir Patrick, a supporting character from earlier in the movie, who only appeared in a few scenes. Now, I'll admit, I gasped in the theater when this twist was revealed. It was surprising, but after further thought, I realized that the extent of this twist was that gasp in the theater. It's an empty twist, one that's just there for an initial shock and a CGI end battle. And on a second viewing, Wonder Woman is the exact same experience as the first viewing. Sure, now we know that Sir Patrick is Hades, but there aren't any interesting hints or clues to pick up on. All the clues are shown after we figure out that he's Hades in the film, so there's next to nothing to pick up on repeat viewings. With the twists of The Usual Suspects, The Sixth Sense, and Get Out, I pick up on a new clue every time I watch those movies. With Wonder Woman, I feel like I got everything the first time watching it. Get Out is a movie that offers two completely unique experiences. This is incredibly difficult to do, and it's rare that it happens. It's easy for a twist to fall short, and for a film filled with multiple, genuinely shocking and subliminally set up twists to succeed with such honesty and style is astounding. That's why Get Out was my second favorite movie of 2017, second only to Transformers: The Last Knight. What's up? Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for watching the video. If you like the video, subscribe to see a video like this every Tuesday. And I'd like to apologize to Ares, the god of war, for the name mix-up. Not the biggest fan of your work, but I apologize for getting your name wrong.